Assalamu alaikum and good morning, students. I hope that you all are fine and enjoying a good time in your homes. You all are welcome in your today's social studies lesson, and I hope that you all are very excited for this also. As you can see on your screens, that today we are going to start our new topic, that is the Stone Age. And inshallah, we are going to cover today textbook pages 47 and 48 in this lesson. So please, all of you, take out your social studies textbook and hold your pencils in your hands. So now let's start our lesson together. Here you can see our today's learning objectives, that students will be able to explain the term Stone Age, and they will be able to identify the materials used in Stone Age. It means that inshallah by the end of the lesson you will be able to explain that what is the meaning of the word Stone Age, and you will also know about the materials which the people of in those times were using. And the next one is this, that you will be able to explain that how fire helped Stone Age people, that how was the fire useful for the ancient times people. So here you can see now your textbook page number 47 on your screens. First of all, you will mention classwork on the top with today's written day, that is Monday and 25th January 2021. And please put your pencils under the each word when you will read after me, and also get ready to underline the important words. So now let's start it. Unit 8, the Stone Age. And the subtopic of today is the Stone Age people, means we are going to learn about the people of Stone Age. Let's start reading. Put your pencils, please, under the each word, and let me show you the page. Now let's start it. Thousands of years ago, people did not live in cities. They did not live in towns or villages. They lived in caves. Underline please, caves. Caves are the small or sometimes very huge space between in the mountains. So they lived in caves or under trees. They hunted wild animals for meat. They also picked fruits and nuts from trees. They wore animal skins as clothes. Wore is here is the second form of the word wear. So in this paragraph we have read about the people, that how they were living and what they were eating, that there were no homes and there were no cities in those times, as we are discussing about the time that was thousands of years ago. As you have remembered that we have read in the previous unit, uh, A Day in the City, and there we have discussed about the life 150 years ago, and that life was even too different from our today's life. So here you can understand that we are not discussing about the 100 years before or 200 years before. Here we are discussing about the thousands of years ago. So in those times there were no facilities and there were no things like which we are using today. Even the people didn't have homes, they didn't have proper food, they didn't know even that how to cook the food. So they were living in the caves or in sometimes under the trees in open, and they were eating the meat of animals, and they were also using the fruits, fresh fruits from the trees and the nuts from the trees as their food. And in those times even they didn't have proper clothes. They were using the animals skins for their clothes, and they were also wearing sometimes the leaves. Here you can see in the picture that the people are wearing the animal's skin, and you can also see a spear in the hand of this man. So now let's start the next one here, the second paragraph. After people had killed most of the animals and picked the fruit in one place, they moved on to another place. Here they are telling us that when they were living in a same place and the animals and fruits were finished from that place, when they have ate all the things, so they were moving to the next place, and from that place now they will collect the fruit and they will get the animals. Now the next last one paragraph. They did not cut their hair because they did not have scissors or knives. Even in those times they were not aware that how they can use the scissors and what are the knives. They didn't have any kind of tools like this. Their tools were made of wood, bone, and stone. They were using the stones as their tools to hunt the animals or to hunt the birds, and the bones, the huge bones of the animals, after drying them, they were also using them as the weapons. And sometimes they were even using the simple branches of wood as their weapons. The last line, this is why we call this time the Stone Age, because the people were using the stones or the woods as the weapons or as the tools. So we call this time as the Stone Age. Here you can see a Stone Age time weapon. You can see with a simple stick, they have attached a piece of stone and they were using it as the weapon. So this was the reading of our page number 2047. I hope that you have understood it properly. So now let's discuss the important points. As brief recap we will take here now. The first point of this page was that thousands of years ago, people lived in caves or under trees. As I have told you, that there was no concept of houses or cities or towns, so they were living in the open places like trees or sometimes in the caves. They hunted wild animals for meat and their skins. The main source of their food and for their living was the animals. They were killing them, they were hunting them for their food and for their clothes as meat and skins. The last is that this was the beginning of human history. As we have discussed that we are reading about the thousands of years before, so this was the beginning of human life on the planet of earth. Next is, it is called Stone Age because people started to use tools made of stones in those times. uh, at the end of the lesson we have discussed this thing, that the people of those time were using the wood or the bone or the stones as their tools or as their weapons. So that's why we call this time period as the Stone Age. They used animals pelts as their clothes. Animals pelts means animal skin, but the skin when we have made it clean means we have removed all the hair from that skin and we have removed all the dirt and all the blood from that skin. That is called the pelt. So they were using the animals skins or animals pelts as their clothes. Next is, they didn't cut their hair. You know very well because we have discussed it that there was no concept of scissors or the knives, so they were not able to cut their hair. Even they didn't have this concept that they can cut their hair. They were very okay with the very long hair and very dirty hair because they didn't get the opportunities to take bath regularly. And the last point is this, that their food was meat of wild animals, nuts, and fruits from trees. They were living on the food like the animals' meat. This was the main source of their uh, food, and after that, they were picking up the fruits and the nuts from the trees. So this was the discussion of page number 47. So now let's move to page number 48. You will also mention classwork on the top, please. And here you can see our subtopic for this page is the fire. So now let's start it. One day, people rubbed two stones together and made fire. They realized that fire was useful. Accidentally, they have discovered this thing by rubbing the two stones together, and uh, after many time they have realized or they have discovered that they can use fire for many things. They could cook food, they could keep warm, they had light at night, they could keep away wild animals. This paragraph is very important as the important uses of fire. So please make a bracket with this paragraph here from they till the animals. You will keep these points in the mind, that how the fire can be useful for the people of the stone age, that they could cook food and they could keep themselves warm, and after that they could get the light in the at the nights, and at the end they could keep themselves safe from the wild animals, and as the wild animals are scared of the fire, and they don't get closer to the fire, so they can keep it as a their security. Here you can see that they have summarized the uses of fire. They are cooking it, and you can see that wild animals here and here and here are not getting closer to them, and they are also keeping themselves warm. So these are the uses of the fire in one picture. And here is the second paragraph. We are going to read that they could also make charcoal by burning wood. Someone drew this animal with charcoal on a cave wall 15,000 years ago. Even they have drew some things. Here you can see on the wall with the charcoal they have drawn a picture of some animal. It is like cow or something like that. So this picture is almost 15,000 years old. So as we have discussed that we are discussing about the thousands of years ago's life. So this is the proof that almost this picture is 15,000 years old. And the last paragraph is here, that later people learned how to bake clay pots. With the passage of time, they were discovering new uses of the fire. So now they have learned that how they could bake the clay pots, and why this thing was important. Now we will discuss this, that clay pots go soft in water. When you will put as the experiment, you can do this, that when you are putting some quantity of mud or clay in water, it will be dissolved in that. But if you bake a clay pot in a fire, it goes hard and you can carry water in it. But when you are baking the clay pot in fire, you can even use that pot to carry the water, as you have seen some pictures in the pictures and you know about their uses. And here now, that the second last line, you can also bake bricks to make houses that stay strong in the rain. Nowadays we are making our houses, we are building our houses with the bricks, and these bricks are also baked in the fire to make them strong, and therefore these bricks are useful in the rain, so we can use them uh, in many ways. So this was the reading of textbook page number 48, and I hope that you have understood this. So now let's have a brief recap of this one page. The important points are, the first one is Stone Age people accidentally discovered fire by rubbing two stones together. The first point in the first paragraph we have read that accidentally they have done this discovery that if they will they would rub two stones together, it then they could get the fire. The second paragraph the second point is this, that they realized that they can utilize fire in cooking food to get light at night and to keep themselves warm. These are the uses of fire which they could able to use fire in these ways. They could cook food, they could get light, and they could keep themselves warm. The next point is this, they made charcoal by burning wood. By burning wood you can get black wood, and you can use that black wood for the writing and for the uh, drawing. This black wood which I am using here term, it is known as the coal. So charcoal they were using for these things. Next point is this, that they drew pictures on the walls of caves with charcoal almost 15,000 years ago. This thing has proven that some pictures in the walls on the walls of caves are 15,000 years old, or even some pictures are more older than these times. And the next point is this, that Stone Age people learned that by baking clay pots in fire can make them hard to carry the water. As we have discussed, that clay can be dissolved in the water. So by baking the clay or clay pots in fire, we can make it more harder than the simple clay, and even we can carry the water in those pots. And the last point is this, that for house making, bricks can also be baked in fire. If we want to make the houses or the buildings stronger, for that reason we are baking the bricks, mud bricks, in the fire, and we are making them the stronger than before. So these were the discussion points of page number 48, and I hope that you have understood page number 47 and 48 properly. And now this is the time for our plenary task, and this is from your textbook page number 47. Are going to complete it. Here they have given us a table, and they are saying that you will complete it by filling these blanks. So now let's start it. The first one is this, that Stone Age tools. They are asking about here the tools which they were using in the times of Stone Age, and they are asking that they were made means tools were made of dash. Here you can write down any option as we have read in the book. First of all, as it is uh, seen, it can be seen from the this one word Stone Age. It means the tools of those times were made from stone. So you can write down here stone, and some two things other we have discussed in the book. I hope that you have remembered exactly. Those were the bones and the woods or sticks, branches you can write down. So you can write down here three options, or you can write down just one. It's up to you. The second is this, that Stone Age homes, where the people were living in the times of Stone Age. uh, in dash, we have discussed these places exactly in caves or under trees. These were the two answers for these blanks. And the next point is that Stone Age food. Here you will mention the things which they were using as the food. We have discussed the main source for as their food. They were hunting the animals for their skins and their exactly the meat. Here the first one you will write down meat, and what they were getting from the trees. You will tell me that fresh things which they were getting from the trees, we also use them as our food. Very nice. It here you will write down the fruits, and the next one are the nuts. And the last one is that Stone Age people were using these things as their clothes. What were these? They were using, here we have discussed that they were hunting the animals for the meat and for the animal's skin. Exactly, the pelt you can write down here, or animal skin you can write down. Both will be correct. And the even if they were not able to get some animal skin or pelt, they were even using the leaves for as their clothing. So these were the appropriate words for these uh, blanks. And here I want to show you the answers. You can check the spellings from here, but I hope that your answers will be correct, because you all are very intelligent, I know. So in the first one blank, the tools were made of stone, wood or bone. You can write down any one, or you can write down two or three. It's up to you. The second one, their homes were in caves or under trees, and their food was meat, fruits or nuts. And the last one, they were using animal skin or leaves as their clothes. So, this was our today's lesson, and I hope that you have enjoyed it. Inshallah, we will meet in our next lesson. Until then, take care of yourselves. Have a nice time. Allah Hafiz.